Nearly 800 people have signed a letter calling for justice 5 years after the dam failures that impacted Midland, Gladwin, and Saginaw counties. The letter is addressed to Governor Gretchen Whitmer, saying they've received no support or compensation from the states, and they all continue to suffer. They hope this letter encourages the state to acknowledge the responsibility it had to prevent the dam failures from happening 5 years ago. They're asking the governor's office to ask the attorney general for a settlement in this case.
Their livelihoods were lost, homes were lost.
When floodwaters rushed into people's homes and businesses on May 19, 2020, people lost everything. People like Darla Ball.
All 3 buildings of our apartment complex were moved a quarter mile and smashed against the woods near the other end of town.
Here's a before picture of the apartment complex and the after. The building's gone. Ball and her husband lost about $300,000.
That was our retirement income. That was meant to be our retirement.
They owned the 9 units and rented them out. Those units are now gone forever. Civil lawsuits have been filed, but they've faced delays because the state says they weren't responsible for the failures. However, last month, the Michigan Court of Claims did allow a lawsuit to move forward.
We're looking for that acknowledgement that the state had some responsibility, that the state had some culpability in what happened, and to help in the recovery efforts.
A report in 2022 found the dam failures were preventable. A previous report in 2018 from the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission said the Edenville Dam could fail. Boyce Hydro was the owner.
The state knew well in advance that there were problems with the dams, and they chose to do nothing. They chose to leave the water level and not to protect us.
Now 5 years later, Ball says they feel like they've been forgotten about.
The state just doesn't seem to acknowledge their part in what has happened and taken any responsibility for what's going on.
The civil lawsuit I mentioned is moving forward. However, it's unknown right now how long that could take in the court process. I've reached out to the governor's office and the AG's office for comment, and I'm still waiting to hear back.